Today we're looking at some interesting facts about real estate agents. Now, some of these are gonna make total sense. Now, some of these facts will actually shock you. And what we're using today as a central source for all of our information was published by the National Association of Realtors, which is NAR. And just as a reminder, not all real estate agents are realtors. Some people, they're shocked by hearing that because they don't understand the differences between a real estate agent and a realtor. So to become a realtor, you have to be a member of the National Association of Realtors, along with subscribing to the standards of the association and its code of ethics. And since NAR has over 1 million users, it's gonna give us a good understanding of what the real estate agent population is and looks like as a whole. So that's why we're using this as the main resource. So with that being said, let's dig in and see if any of these ring true to you. The typical realtor had 8 years of experience, down from 9 last year. So when I first read this, it made sense to me, really for two primary reasons. Number one is because so many new agents have flooded the market. So many agents have gotten their real estate license. It's a hot market right now. So real estate is a very coveted profession, a coveted industry at this point in time because houses are doing what they're doing. But then number two, something else that I took into consideration is that we have an aging population. So the baby boomers are getting out of the profession. So at this point, pair those two together, it only makes sense that the experience in terms of years drops off. Most realtors worked 35 hours per week in 2020, down from 36 hours last year. Well, since we're looking at 2020 numbers, it kind of makes sense considering there was a pandemic. Now, I understand that every single state was treated different, and I understand that real estate agents, for the most part, were treated as essential workers. So you were always able to work. But beyond that, whether it's 35 or 36, we're gonna run into some extremes. We're gonna run into those individuals that are part-timers that really don't dedicate too much time to the business. And then we're gonna run into the overtimers, the ones that are putting 60, 70, 80, 90 hours per week. So this number, I really don't think it gives us too much. In fact, I think it gives a wrong impression of what it actually takes for you to be successful in real estate. The typical realtor earned 15% of their business from repeat clients and customers and 19% through referrals. Now, at first glance, these numbers may seem a little bit low, but we also have to consider the average experience of real estate agents. So we just saw that it was 8 years. Well, within 8 years, it's going to be difficult for everybody that you work with to be selling their house at the same time, or at least for the second time. So it stands to reason that the repeat clients just aren't there quite yet. So with time, clients will continue using you over and over and over again, and that 15% is going to increase. It's going to comprise the bulk of your business. Realtors with 16 years or more experience had a median gross income of $75,000. Down from $86,500 in 2019. Now, compared year to year, this is a considerable drop off. Now, we can easily point to the pandemic, and on this point, I think I actually will, because there is that discrepancy. Because again, some states were more locked down than others, and when you're looking at a change this drastic, you're struggling to find another culprit, especially something unprecedented that happened in 2020 that impacted the 2019 numbers, because if you look at 2018, it really wasn't that different. Now that's comparing year to year, 2019 to 2020. I think the more surprising number here is that after 16 years of average experience, you're looking at $80,000 on average. Now, some of you may be thinking, wow, after 16 years in real estate and that's your number, it's a little bit low. Now, some of you may be thinking, wow, I would love to be making in the 80,000 range. That'd be fantastic. So I'll just leave that up to your discretion. Whatever you feel is too high or too low, that's your interpretation. Realtors with 2 years or less experience that had a median gross income of $8,500 decreased from $8,900 in 2019. Now you may be thinking, how on earth can you live with less than $9,000 per year? Well, the simple answer is you can't. That's why the failure rate in real estate is incredibly high. Now, depending on who you read, because there's various opinions on this and various stats on this, 80 to 90% of the agents fail within the first 3 years. And also you have to consider that many agents that start out on a part-time basis. So they have a full-time job over here and are working part-time in real estate. So that will affect the average. The largest expense category for most realtors was vehicle expenses, which was $1,200. With this one, I don't have too much to say. I think they pretty much nailed it. If I was guessing though, I would have put advertising as number one, but it doesn't surprise me that the vehicle expense is number one at the moment. The median tenure for realtors with their current firm was 5 years, up from a median of 4 years in the 2020 survey. Now this one did surprise me for 2 reasons. Number one, because of all of the agents flooding into the industry. I would have thought with so many agents flooding in that this would actually suppress the number. And the second reason it surprised me is because there's so many new brokerages out there with different models that I for sure thought this was actually going to reduce the average amount of time that each agent spent with their brokerage. 65% of our realtors were female, up slightly from the 64% last year. Now this stat originally surprised me when I first heard it several years ago, but as I really thought through it and analyzed all of the agents that I had done transactions with, it kind of proved out. Now these are some facts that I thought interesting enough to include in this video. Let me know in the comment section down below which ones I missed, and as always, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.